Welcome back to Martin's Vinyl. The day is here. We're on the way to the airport. We're going to New York. Whoop whoop. You've been looking forward to this day for a long time, haven't you?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you've been wanting to go to New York for years. Me, not so much. I'm not a big city guy. I don't really even like going to London. But the wife promised me if we go to New York, she'd take me to some record stores. So I'm in. Let's do it. What are you excited to do?
All of it. All of it. We've got so much planned. It's going to be awesome.
You excited to spend some time with me?
Yeah, I'm excited to spend time with you when you're not looking at records, and that'll be nice.
I'm excited to see records. Let's go! And we're back. Finally got back from New York. Me and the wife are exhausted because, as you saw, we hit New York hard. Super hard. I'm absolutely exhausted, but I managed to get a sweet stack of records I want to share with you. And I can't wait to share them with you because I've picked up some really good records. But I don't want to make this video too long. I know I've gone a bit crazy with my little highlight reel of where I've been and stuff, so I'm going to quickly blast through this stack of records. But it's just the first couple of records I really want to talk to you guys about because I'm super excited to get my hands on these. If you're familiar with my channel, you should know that this is my favourite record of all time. I've had this record forever. I didn't get this in New York. This record came to me when I was about 17, 18. And I like my music and everything, but I never really delved into like full-on albums. I mean, I listened to the likes of what my friends were listening to and what the radio was telling me to listen to. But this is the first album that I got that was like my musical awakening, really. It just showed me how good music can be and not just be pretty songs on the radio. This record blew my mind. It changed my life, really. It got me into so many different genres when I was younger. I mean, I fell in love with Jack White after listening to this, and I wanted to know more about them. And this album was a massive gateway album for me. This got me into the blues, punk, grunge, garage rock, because it's all on here. That's what I love about this album. It's such a variety and a great songwriting ability as well. So this is why this is my favourite album of all time, and probably always will be my favourite album. But when I was in New York, I saw this on the wall. Now, this is a promo for that record, for Elephant. This is the record that Jack White purposely made because he loves his vinyl, and he gave it out to all the journalists in America to help promote the album. So these were the very, very first ones. This is a promo. There's no stickers or labels. The only print you get is this very small print on the bottom, which I'll photograph and make a bigger picture so you guys can see. But as soon as I walked in the shop and saw this on the wall, I was like, you're coming home with me. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it because it's probably the most I've ever paid. But I'm never going to come across this record again because it was only 500 ever pressed. So very, very happy to find this one. I was absolutely buzzing when I left that shop, and it's like all that digging and everything was all worthwhile because of this record. Can't believe this is my crown jewel now on my record collection. It's my favourite album, and to find a promo of said record is amazing. Really, really happy. Alright, let me show you what else I got. The next record I want to show you is a big personal favourite of mine. This is Band of Skulls, Baby Darling Dollface Honey from 2009. This is their debut album. This is my local band from Southampton. Me and my wife see them every time they come back to their hometown. If you've not heard of them, they are very similar to White Stripes. So they're a three-piece band, but very similar to White Stripes Raconteurs sort of sound. But I've been wanting a first press of this album forever. This is a box set. And I got this box set. And the last time I saw Band of Skulls live, I saw the lead singer, guitar player Russell Marsden, and I spoke to him after the show, and I said I really wanted a first press of this, because that's what I'm like now. And he said that they're extremely difficult to find. Band of Skulls, they have a lot more recognition over in the States than they do here in the UK, so they never pressed it on vinyl here in the UK. The only way you could get it on vinyl is to find a box set, which I did, and he signed it for me when I was there. But they only pressed it in America. So if you wanted a first pressing, you would have to get an American copy. And they were extremely hard to find. He even went on to say, Russell Marsden, that he didn't even have a copy of it. So, right, okay, I'll just stick with the box set then. Anyway, I go to New York. I visited a shop called 54 Vintage Vinyl. It's a great shop. If you're in New York and you're a record collector, I highly recommend 54 Vintage Vinyl. Loads and loads of records. But behind their desk, they have the rare records, and the rare records you can't really see. And if you wanted to have a look, you have to get one of the staff members to flick through it for you, because you're not allowed to touch them. And he's flicking through it for me because curiosity got the better of me. And you see like things like an unpeeled Velvet Underground banana. But in that box was this, a first American press of Band of Skulls. I was like, I'm taking it. It's coming home with me. And as soon as I grabbed it, I photographed it and I sent it over to Russell Marston on Instagram. And he posted it on his page saying I've probably grabbed the last copy because he didn't press that many. So very, very happy to have this in my collection. A first press of one of my favourite bands, Bands of Skull. Really good. Totally stoked. Right. I still got a big stack to go through, so I want to go through the rest of these very, very quickly. Okay. ZZ Top Rio Grande Mud. This is a first UK press on the London label. This one was already in my collection, but when I was digging, I just found this one. This is an American press. I'm a stickler for finding an album from where the band is from. So American band, I want the American pressing. But not only did I find one, I found a promo copy as well. So I have 2 copies of Rio Grande Mud. Promo copy. Happy days. Like, same sort of situation with this record. This is Spooky Tooth, The Last Puff. This is a first UK press on the Pink Island label. If you don't know who Spooky Tooth are, they're a great English band from the 60s, 70s. Blues rock with some psychedelic rock thrown in there. Really like Spooky Tooth. But when I was digging again, I found this copy, an American copy. I know I said I liked the albums where the band is from, but when you find a Spooky Tooth promo, this is a white label promo, I had to grab it. It was very cheap and I couldn't resist. It's also super, super clean. So I have 2 copies of Spooky Tooth now. It's a great album, really good. Right, next record I want to show you is a band called Arm. This is Arm Blues Vibe. Now this record is I grabbed this the last time I went to America, so I've had this record for a couple of years. But this copy, you can get a UK pressing of it. If you don't know who Arm are, yes, they are quite obscure and a bit unknown, but I love this band. This is one of those bands that just hits me in all the right places. Really good blues rock, really good fuzzy guitar. I really love this band, and I just wish more people knew about this band because they are fantastic. It's, yeah, blues rock with some psychedelic rock thrown in there. Really good fuzzy guitar that hits my little sweet spot of good music. But this one I've had for a while, and you can get UK pressings of this. This is an American pressing. I've had this one for a while, but they've only got 2 albums in their catalogue. So this one was on my radar big time. This is Arm Resurrection from 1969. And this one has only ever been released in America and Canada and a few selected countries. Never pressed in the UK, never been reissued. Fantastic album. When it comes to both these albums, the other one's a lot better than this one, but this one's got the title track, Resurrection. If you're going to listen to anything after you finish this video, please check out that the track Resurrection. It's one of my favourite songs. Really good, brilliant 3-piece band. No, I'm not going to say they're on the likes of Cream and Jimi Hendrix, but for me, they're up there like that. Really good. Love this album. I'm so happy to find a copy because they're very, very hard to find. And it's super clean as well. CK Strong from 1969. This is a hard album to find. Very, very hard to find. Only ever released once. Never been reissued. You only can get a copy in the States or Canada. This is great heavy blues and psychedelic rock. The lead singer, Lynn Carey, she left the band to start her own solo career after this album as Mama Lion. That's an interesting album to check out as well. But if you're a fan of Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company, then I strongly recommend this album. It's a really strong resemblance to the both bands. Yeah, singer's very similar to Janis Joplin, but she can sing a couple octaves higher than Janis Joplin can. She can really hit those high notes sometimes. If you haven't heard of this band, please check them out. It's a very, very must listen to album. Check them out. CK Strong from 1969. Right, the next band, records I want to show you is a band called Fever Tree. This is their debut album, Fever Tree, and this one's probably their most popular one in their catalogue. This one has been reissued and re-released all around the globe. It's quite an easy one to find, but the rest of their back catalogue is a lot more difficult to find. If you don't know who Fever Tree are, they're an American psychedelic band from the 60s, 70s. If you like the Doors, then I recommend Fever Tree. I kind of get that sound from them now and again. But this album, Fever Tree Creation, one of their follow-up albums, this one has been on my radar for the longest time. I'm constantly trying to find it on eBay, but people are charging silly amounts. This one was never reissued or re-released, and you only can get copies in America and Canada, hence why they are quite expensive. The last time I saw this one was in Bristol, and they were selling it for £60. It's not worth that much at all. So when I found a copy in America for only £6, I grabbed it. I grabbed it because it's a really good album, not because it was cheap. So yeah, a forgotten gem, this album. Check them out. Almost forgot to mention that on this album, for any ZZ Top fans out there, Billy Gibbons plays guitar on this album for a few tracks. He was a session guitarist back in the day. Both him and the band are from Texas, and he was friends with members of the band, so he lent his guitar skills to this one. It sounds nothing like ZZ Top, so don't expect ZZ Top, but it's just an interesting one for any ZZ Top collectors out there. Blues Image, Open from 1970, another blues rock album with some psychedelic leanings, but more on the jazzy side. Another American band I wanted a US pressing of. They did release it in a few other selected countries and in Europe, but not in the UK. There's no UK pressing of this album. Almost labelled as a one-hit wonder band with their song Ride Captain Ride. But the second side of this album is some really good jazz rock on here. It's almost like Santana, but without the Latina feel. It's more of a true jazz feel, if that makes any sense. Not a classic album, but definitely worth a listen. And they're quite cheap as well when you come across a copy. Also worth noting is Mike Pinera is on this album. He left this band to go join Iron Butterfly and then went on to join Cactus as well. So if you come across it, pick it up. It's definitely worth checking out. Rhinoceros from 1968. Another blues rock album, but with some soul and funk thrown in there as well. This is the brainchild of the Doors producer, Paul Rothchild. He wanted to form a supergroup in the late 60s of some of his favourite musicians that weren't working at the time. You got members of Iron Butterfly in here, a member from Mothers of Intervention in here, and you've also got, what was his name, Doug Hastings. He subbed for Neil Young in the Buffalo Springfield band. But all the hype up to form this supergroup kind of overlooked the music. The track they also released was called Apricot Brandy, and that the track they released is purely instrumental. So this album did kind of go overlooked at the time. And it's probably, for me, one of the era's most overlooked albums. It's got a great mixing of rhythm and blues on here. Like I said, some soul and some elements of funk are thrown in here. I really enjoy this album, even if they didn't back in the day. Really good blues rock. And again, another really cheapie if you come across it as well. There's also an American pressing. All right, really interesting album, this one. This is Uncle Chapin. This is a band from New York, a self-titled album from 1970. Really, really good New York jazz, rock, funk, brass band. This is their only album, which has never been reissued on any format. So if you want to listen to it in full, you have to get the vinyl copy of it. I think there might be some other streaming platform you can use, but from my knowledge, this is the only way you can listen to it in full. Really cheap and really good quality. This thing is near mint. This is a fantastic one-off album. Really tight band. Pity nothing came from the back of this. I think one of the reasons why they didn't make it big is because the cover is horrible. I could easily flip past that one if I was digging. They kind of sound like a cross between Chicago and Blood, Sweat and Tears. Kinda. This is some really good psychedelic funk sometimes on this one as well. Yeah, interesting find. A Group Called Smith, an album you can find very easily and very cheaply, but I never had a copy. I've never actually listened to this album in full, so I can't tell you too much about it. The only thing I can say is their big hit on here is Baby It's You, which was used by Quentin Tarantino in one of his movies. I picked it up because it's very cheap, and I wanted an American pressing of it because it's an American band. Alright, the band Flaming Ember. Name of the album is Sunshine from 1971. Really good rock, funk, soul, blues all rolled into one. Wasn't released in the UK until the year 2020. US first presses are on the Hot Wax label. Very common record in America and very inexpensive. I saw a couple of these while I was out there. The second side of this record is much better than the first side. If you're a fan of the band Rare Earth, then definitely recommend this one. This is definitely in the same vein. It's very fiery inspired soul band, taking inspiration from classic Southern soul. It's got elements of Motown thrown in there and some elements of psychedelia thrown in there for good measure as well. If you come across it, pick it up. It's worth it. Right, next album is Yellow Pages, Volume 1, 1969 on the Uni record label. Only ever released on vinyl in the US in 1969 and only ever released in CD in the UK. Really like this album. Every track is different. That makes this album very worthwhile. It goes from psychedelic to garage to blues. The band's only full-length release, even though the name of the album is called Volume 1. This is their only full-length album release. Definitely worth seeking out. Some very tasty moments on this album, especially the track Friends. It sounds like Leslie West from Mountain is cranking it out. And also check out the track Crowd Pleaser. Really like this one, really good. Check it out. Right, next record I want to show you guys is a band you've all probably heard of. This is Heart. This is Dreamboat Annie. Very popular band, very popular record, but the interesting thing about this record, and the reason why I picked it up, is that this is a very first pressing. The band is from America, but the band recorded in Vancouver in Canada, and the album was released in Canada first in 1975, in September 1975, on the Mushroom record label, and the Americans didn't get a pressing till February 1976. So most of the copies that you've probably got in your collection probably have 1976 on there, but this one is 1975 Canadian press, so it just tickles my collector bone of finding the very first pressing of a record that I like. So this is a first Canadian press released the year before America and the rest of the world got their hands on a copy, so it was just very interesting for me to add to my collection. Like I said, it tickles my collector's bone. I don't know. Right, that's it. That's all the records I got from New York. But my American press records didn't stop there. When I got back after my 8-hour flight, this record was waiting for me. This is Nazareth, Expect No Mercy. I have a very good friend via YouTube. We talk all the time, every time we post a video. And he knows I'm a big Nazareth fan, and he's gifted me this record. This is a promo sampler of this record, Nazareth, Expect No Mercy. Thank you very much, Bob. Very much appreciated. Very happy to add this to my collection, my Nazareth collection. Bob has got a great YouTube channel, so don't forget to check that channel out. He also has a shop over in Portland. It's called Super Electric Records, so if you're in the area, please check it out. I would love to be able to give him the chance to go over there and check out his store. It looks really good. Thank you very much, Bob. Very much appreciated. Right, that's it. I'm going to leave you now. I've made this video far too long. Thank you very much if you watched it till the end. And don't forget to like and subscribe for any future videos. Thank you very much.